What's good, y'all? It's your boy Epiphany the Beast, and welcome to ETB Hoops. Today we're going to be talking about a pretty older case. Well, based off what the title says, the embezzlement case between Alan Foster and Big Baller Brand, and how Lonzo is involved, LeVar is involved, what Lonzo's comments were based on the Shop episode. If you ever heard of the Shop, it's basically LeBron's show, sort of like a barbershop talk feeling with LeBron, and he brings a couple of his closest friends, people who work within his organization, and then he'll invite other players onto the show, like Anthony Davis been on there, Draymond Green's been on there, just various players have been on the show, and they just basically have a go around talk session and discuss different events, things in the league and such like that. But basically, if you haven't heard about the case, Alan Foster, he was part of Big Baller Brand. He was the sort of a management type role within the group, and he was filed for embezzlement within Big Baller Brand. They said he owned about 13.6% of Big Baller Brand, and around the time where LeVar's wife was going through her, I think it was a stroke or whatnot, he was now put in charge of the money, and he was making fraudulent transactions and taking out. He has a history, has a criminal risk history, being involved in Ponzi schemes, so this isn't his first run-in with taking money from large organizations. They're saying now that his only true sole purpose with being a part of Big Baller Brand was to stay in until Lonzo got his contract with the Lakers, and then go ahead and take money from out of there. He's been like Lonzo said in the Shop, he's been a father figure to Lonzo. He's known Lonzo since he was 12 years old. He's been there, since those younger Chino, before even the Chino Hills day. He was probably sixth or seventh grade, and he's just been there, all throughout it. So he's seen LaMelo when he was 6 years old, and LiAngelo. He's seen all their growth and the growth of Big Baller Brand, and just to see that lack of faith and lack of trust within the group and within the organization just fall down due to Alan Foster. Lonzo went ahead and dropped Big Baller Brand a couple of days after that. He covered up the tattoo on his arm. I think his back's showing now, but he covered up the tattoo on his arm for a lot of the conferences, meetings, and award shows that he attended after that. It was just tough to see, it was a big break within the group, and I could tell during the Shop, if you watch the video, because that's what made me want to make a video on this, even though the show aired like in the beginning of May. I saw a video, and you could just tell, like, you can hear the sadness, I guess, in Lonzo's voice when he was describing how it made him feel, because he hasn't seen him since the case opened up. He was saying that once he found out, because I think Lonzo was the first person to find out what Foster was doing, but he said once he found out, he called LeVar, and he was explaining to him, and it was the first, he said, everyone's quote me on this, but he's saying this is the first time he actually told his dad to shut up and listen to what I'm actually saying. I actually have something important to say. And his dad actually sat down and was like, all right, son, let me hear what you have to say. And he broke it all down to him. And it was quiet, his dad was quiet. And when he was explaining on the Shop, everyone was in awe, like, wow, LeVar not talking. But he actually, sat down, listened to him, and was like, wow, this is someone that LeVar put his trust in as well. And they didn't do any type of background check on Mr. Foster. And just to see that amount of trust that he was given with the family for that, Lonzo's maybe, I think, a year or two older than me, and when I was 12 years old, that was, that's decades ago, that's a decade ago and more, and for him to be with them for that long, and then for them to find out right when his wife got sick, and they put him in charge, with the money, that go ahead and do something like that, immature and that shady, what I'm saying? And now I know Demo, who's also quote unquote Lonzo's manager, or personal manager, he's, now that puts him on the hot spot because he's not blood, but he's also someone who's been with him, who we've seen since Chino Hill days as well. And I know it puts a lot of people who aren't family in the hot seat. It makes them weary of now I have to up my game and make it seem like I'm not a shady person as well. Now I have to regain my trust based on what somebody else did, and somebody else they trusted as well, who isn't family. So I'm not really sure what's next for the Big Baller Brand. They said something about rumoring to give Lonzo a new shoe. I know during Lonzo's first or second year, his first year when the first shoe dropped, people were asking him when he had the ankle injury, was it because of the Big Baller Brand shoes, and he quickly shut it down. So there's a lot of faith in Big Baller Brand, and there's a lot of, he rep Big Baller Brand with, with the pride. He wore all the gear at interviews, any event he could go to. He was always, repping his brand like he should, and now he's not even with Big Baller Brand anymore. He's wearing other people's shoes, and and there's rumors that he's inked a deal with, I don't know, I think it's a smaller brand. It's not Nike or Adidas. I think it's with either Puma or, I don't want to say New Balance. I'm not sure, but we're gonna get, we'll know eventually, and I'll be the first one to tell you. But Lonzo also switched agents immediately after the news was heard. He dropped his agent. I'm gonna guess that was, he didn't want to, anything that was past, anyone that knew Alan Foster or maybe was connected to him or was referred by Alan Foster in the past, he doesn't want any connections with them whatsoever. So he severed ties with them. They filed a lawsuit for how much money they feel like he stole. It was 1.6, so they filed a lawsuit for 1.6 million towards Mr. Foster. I'm not sure how the case has been going. What's any recent news? Nothing that I've heard of from my side. So I will be the first to go ahead and update y'all on that. But I just wanted to, after seeing that video on Instagram, I just wanted to go ahead and make a video for it. Like I said, I know the information is kind of old, but it's something that I didn't touch on, and it's something that I definitely know that some people have heard about, maybe don't know all the details for it, and I just want to make sure I got that for y'all. But go ahead, leave in the comments below how you feel about the case. Let's forget about Alan Foster. Is someone who isn't blood in your family, should they be trusted with having money within your organization? How do you go about picking roles within a brand that you've started, no matter how long you've known the person? Should background checks always be done within your business? Just go ahead and leave the comments below. Let me know what you think. And that's going to be it for this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for post notifications. Peace.